Hey there.
Hey, how you doing, Invertico? How you
I'm
doing?
doing great.
Nice to finally meet you. So, give the chat a few minutes to start rolling in. I see quite a few people here already, so that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool.
And you can
So,
also point at the comments so that I can see them. Like, yeah, click on them.
okay, yep. Let me bring up comments. All right, so first in here we've got Lady R. Thank you so much for stopping by. We got
Hello.
Jamie and Fishy on. And Jamie dropped a bunch of links for you guys. I just shipped my shrimp for the very first time down to the Garden of Eden. So they
I
went
saw it
from
that
here in New
video.
York all the way down to Florida. And I posted up a video on how I packaged those up. And then Grant and Shelby posted up a video of the unboxing and gave me a lot of helpful advice for the future. So definitely check both of those out. See who else we have here. We got Yellowstone in the house. Jeff Kane, welcome.
Skull Aquatics.
Yeah, welcome, Skull. Good morning. How you doing? We got Brandon in here. Bonnie Viper, how you doing? Silver Creek, welcome.
Oh my
Malcolm
goodness,
Reynolds,
Silver Creek is my friend.
he's pretty awesome. I really enjoy his streams,
I'm
and
so
he's
happy
always
he's
super
with us.
friendly.
He's very positive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then we
Such a
got
nice dude.
Dixie Dew in here. Welcome. Good morning, Muppet. How you doing? Finoxky. Hey, Grant and Shelby. How you doing? Okay, so I think we're gonna get started. So, Invertico, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
So, I am Invertico, and my channel is all about invertebrates and mostly terrestrial animals, but I also make videos about underrated aquatic invertebrates like bladder snails, ramshorn snails, which are considered pest snails, and also I've been learning on feeder shrimp, like ghost shrimp, but it's been a long time since I've kept them because I didn't have much space or time to have these animals. But now, since I have three mini ponds to keep shrimp outside, I am planning on getting some Caridina shrimp like red pintos or like red wine shrimp.
Oh, okay,
I
very
also
cool.
might also get Neocaridina shrimp.
All right, sounds good. So, you said you've got some outdoor ponds. Are they heated, or are you just going with the natural temperature of them?
So one pond is for the Caradinas, which is heated. There's also an indoor, like a little like I know you shouldn't keep like fish and shrimp in bowls, but like it's just like a 10-gallon bowl to keep the shrimps inside to have some backup colony. And the rest are for like the Neocardinas, which are unheated, the two ponds outside.
Oh,
Because
okay,
I've had blue dreams in the past.
okay. What's the temperature like where you live? Is it relatively cold in the winter, or does it stay somewhat warm?
It's not too bad. The area is kind of like Pennsylvania, right? Like, not too snowy, not too warm. It's like in the mid. But this summer, it was way too warm. So I am avoiding to keep any species that live in the European region because they might be stressed out in the summer because it gets in 30 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure how much that is in Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I'm not real good with conversions either. So, if anyone in the chat is, if you could convert that for us, 30 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit, that would be awesome. See if anyone else rolled in here. We got Colored Guppies. Welcome. Good morning, Frank. So, the title of the stream was a Q&A. We're going to save all questions for after me and Vertigo kind of talk about his pond setups and kind of help him out get started with that. So if you guys can just remember all of your questions, I'll open up questions in just a little bit. So, what's the first shrimp you wanted to get set up outside?
So the first thought that I always had is to always breed a Caridina shrimp outside and try like something expensive to see how really people say they're super sensitive, because many people say that they're sensitive, many people say that they're super hardy, and I can't rely on both because I have to experience it myself.
So here's the thing, or my opinion on it anyway. Certain types are a lot hardier than others, even within the Caridina family. So if you were to get something like a Serrata tiger, that'll be either a tangerine tiger or a blue tiger. Those are going to be a little bit hardier. They can handle slight temperature changes a little easier. But if the temperature's changing or the water hardness and pH are changing, you might experience some struggles there. But the Serrata tigers are usually a little bit more forgiving.
I've had like tangerine tigers and the orange eye tigers in the past,
Oh, okay.
and they seem quite good, but they are kind of like, how do you say it? They're like Neocardinas in the Caridina family. And the reason why I want to get Caridinas instead of Neocardinas is because, in my experience, when I had like crystal snow shrimp, you know, right, the white ones,
Yep.
they don't need to be culled as often compared to most of the Neocardinas that I've kept. I mean, all.
So the tangerine tigers actually, there's very very few calls off from those usually. As long as they're a pure tangerine tiger and not a hybrid, they're all gonna come out nice orange with the black stripes. So that's honestly my top pick for beginner with the Caridina shrimp. But Ora blue tigers are still a really awesome type to keep.
I think, is my audio echoing?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Is my audio echoing?
No, it's not echoing.
Okay, so I think that tangerine tigers are very cool because once I even got this cool, like, instead of, you know, like the instead of the spotted orange color, like the black spots, I
Yep.
got like literally like stripes like pintos, you know, like not black stripes but like a orangish, like a brown stripe. Like it was also a little tint of gold, you know, and I
Oh,
loved it.
okay. So you might have had one of the hybrids called a Tang Tai, and that's
Hmm.
any time that you mix a tangerine tiger with either a crystal bee or a Taiwan bee. So those will have a little bit more calls if you want to keep all one pattern, but they should still be somewhat hardy, even though they've got the crystal bee or the Taiwan bee genetic in them.
To be honest, like what I do with cults is that I even interbreed the cults themselves to make a new form. That it makes a literal new form.
Oh,
That's what I
absolutely.
like about cults.
Absolutely, that's what I like about the Caradina varieties. Is there's so many different possibilities that you can make.
They're just the thing with Neocaridina, in my experience, is it's not so easy to make new forms because they will turn out brown. But like, well, when I mix like certain types, like Snowball is the best color to mix, unlike Blue Dreams and Reds. You know that just makes pure brown. Like
Oh,
say if
okay.
people sing Violet Shrimp, that's mostly a myth.
No,
It's
it's
like a half truth.
yeah, it's not like mixing paints together with shrimp. You know, they're gonna show certain pigmentation over the others depending on what's dominant and recessive, and you're not gonna typically with Neocaridina, you're not typically gonna see both colors present. There are a couple exceptions, but it still takes a lot of work to get there.
So, like, how I thought of Caridina shrimp is that they tend, in my experience, they tend to be much more hardier than Neo-Caridina shrimp because every time I have Neo-Caridina shrimp, there's going to be a lot of death. Like only like few shrimp, mostly the males, and just like two females will survive out of like 10 animals. And like really, it was a painful thing to see. Like I spent a lot of money, and it more like my parents' money, of course, and I just feel bad for that. And with Caradina shrimp, they might look sensitive. Like everybody complains that they're sensitive, and like some people say they're only hardy. Like come on, like there's a category of people who say that Neocaridina shrimp are the number one shrimp, and they grow the best. They do all of the thing, and there are a category of people who are saying that only Caridina shrimp are the best, and then in between, or more like that downfall, there are people who say Neocaridina are terrible, and there are people who say Caridina are terrible. I mean,
Right. A lot of it comes down to what your water parameters are. Each shrimp has very specific requirements, and once you get outside of those parameters, you're gonna start to see some struggles and some issues with certain types.
and also, I want to also breed Caridina shrimp in outdoor ponds because that will make more space, and even though it's smaller like in water volume, it's much larger space, and I can make more profit. I also want to make some breeding projects and to make some money.
Gotcha. So your outdoor ponds, what are the water parameters right now?
So right now the pH, should I start with the pH or?
Yeah, go right down the list.
So the pH is around 6.5. It fluctuates between 6.3 and 6.5 the whole time. The GH is 3, which I think is a little low but like still safe. And the KH is 3. And the GH also sometimes fluctuates to 4, but like still the KH, it's always 3. I don't know why.
Do you have any rocks in the pond?
No, yeah, I changed it into a different pond because I have 3 ponds, and I have to just carry one big pond. I have more like I have to drag it, and I just add that pond and heat it up.
Okay, so with the KH being present in there, you're always going to have a struggle getting the pH to lower. Um, if you want the pH lower, you really have to get all those carbonates out of the water somehow. So you can neutralize it with a huge amount of botanicals. That's going to also drop the pH for you. It'll make the water really dark because of the tannins, but it should provide a little bit safer of a water for your shrimp. And then your GH is definitely low, no matter if you're keeping Caridina or Neocaridina. So you may want to consider getting some mineral salts to bring that up.
And the thing is that with all shrimps is when you add a darker environment, they really color up. And if you add like humic substances like the tannins in catappa leaves, that will enhance the color of the shrimp
Oh,
because
absolutely. And it
it
also
brings
has
more
a lot of
bacteria. And
it,
also, like, the biofilm will be built up much easily, and algae will be a little decreased. But I mean, the shrimp prefer biofilm over algae, if you
right,
ask
right.
me.
Yep, a lot of the algae is a little bit difficult for the shrimp to pick off the glass. So I definitely agree that biofilm should be the primary source of food for the shrimp.
And also, like many people say, like the Caridina shrimp are great algae eaters. That's only for 2 species, the Caridina multidentata and the Caridina typus. They are both amano shrimp species. The typus, which is not so famous, is the Australian amano shrimp, and they are a little too hardy. I have to say they're way too hardy. They are hard to kill.
Gotcha. So that would probably be really ideal for one of those pond setups. Then I've never kept any
But they need
amano.
brackish water.
What was that?
They need brackish water in order to breed, and
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with the monos or anything like that. I've kept Neocaridina, Caridina, and Paracaridina.
The Paracardina seem very cool, but like they are a little more pricey because just because of their name Paracardina, but they're literally nearly the same thing as a crystal shrimp. Nearly.
They've got some differences in their genetic. They can accept a little bit wider parameters on some of the types, like the raccoons, but um, for the most part, I keep Caridina. Um, those are just my current favorite varieties, or from the Caridina line.
And is it? Do you think which species do you prefer? Like Paracardina, Caridina, or Neocaridina?
Right now, the Caridina are my current favorite. I'm sure that's going to change with time as I start exploring more varieties and more types and try to get more to hybridize.
Have you had Sulawesi shrimp?
I do have one. It's a wild type called Malawa, and I've
Oh,
got
I
those
love
in
them. They're my
neocaridina
only
parameters.
Sulawesi shrimp.
Yeah, they're pretty
They're too
easy.
underrated. They're way
Yep,
too underrated.
definitely.
Like the ones that I had, the Cardina parvidenta parpanensis. The Cardina parvidenta and the Cardina parpanensis are two different species, but they're too identical to see that they just made into the same species. So really, one I think it's the Parvidenta parpanensis. No, the Parvidenta is the one that can change colors a little, depending on mood. Not like too bad like the blue bolts. They literally swap from white to blue, but it's like just like mild, green to blue, and I
Gotcha.
find that very cool.
Yeah, I've only had the Malawa shrimp for a couple of months now, so I don't have a whole lot of experience with those yet. But I've
I
got
don't
those.
have them anymore. I wish I had them.
Yeah, I've got those in a 10-gallon tank in the other room behind the camera.
They might look a little too bland, but they're not. They're not. Believe me, they're not. They're worth it. They're like
Yeah,
Amano
I
shrimp,
really like them.
but 100 times better. Like I have to say, Amano shrimp are kind of overrated.
Yep. Now, you had mentioned that you want to keep fish with the shrimp.
No,
Oh, okay. I thought that's what you were saying. I'm sorry about that.
I want to avoid keeping them with fish
Right, I was gonna advise against it.
because in my experience, when I had the Malalo shrimp, I kept them first with guppies. Don't keep them. No shrimp should be with guppies at all. Believe me. And one was gone within the first second I put the shrimp inside the tank, and then I took all the other Malawi shrimp into a separate container. It was like just like a 5 gallon container, and they were thriving. But the only problem with the Malawi shrimp is that they drop their eggs too much, in my experience.
Gotcha. So they can drop their eggs just from stress. So if the water parameters aren't perfect for them, or
But they
if
live too
there's
long.
temperature changes at all, or any other shrimp picking on them, that's when you'll typically see a shrimp drop their eggs.
I completely agree. The thing is that with the Malawi shrimp, I saw if they don't drop the eggs, they live shorter. But if they drop the eggs, they live longer. Like mine lived for like, I don't know, like from April to, oh yeah, they live around 1 year and 6 months, so 1.5 years. So that is a lot for
Yep.
like a shrimp. I mean, Sulawesi shrimp are smaller and they're much more sensitive, but the Malawi shrimp are the opposite, the pure opposite. They're very hardy.
Yeah. Yep. All of mine are still alive and doing well. I haven't seen any babies in that tank yet, but I'm sure it shouldn't be too much longer. I've had them for a couple months now.
It takes a long time to get the babies and to get
Yep.
them breed. It takes quite a long time, but once you get it, you will start getting slow, good improvements. And believe me, in Germany they're famous, but like in the U.S., not many people talk about them in YouTube. I've only seen a video about the secret history in your aquarium, the channel.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot. I think Alex, he
Yeah,
lives
Alex
in
has a
Florida,
couple
and
of
also
videos up
Rachel
on them.
O'Leary. Rachel O'Leary also talked, but those are old videos. I mean, like not so many people. Even the Garden of Eden, I hope he made a video about them. Did
I
he?
think he's got a video on them. That's where I got my colony from, was from Grant and Shelby.
I mean, they are one of the only people who sell rare shrimps in the U.S. I mean, I wish you guys were like in Germany, like in our like how many species we have. Like we even have this species called Cardina tambipulai, which is a shrimp that is super rare from like how do you say, Sri Lanka, and is the southern part of India where I come from. There, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
why they're my favorite Cardina species.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that species. I haven't heard of them yet. So, did you have any other questions on how to get your pond set up, or should we jump
Yeah, I
into
do.
chat? The
Do you suggest like what do you suggest to feed your shrimp? Like what would you avoid? Like I heard that you said about fish meal that it should be avoided, but like why?
right. So, I like to feed mostly vegetable based foods. Shrimp Envy is a very high quality food made here in the U.S., and that's the primary diet that I feed the shrimp. Organic bee pollen is also really, really great for them. It helps their immune system, and it kind of goes all over the tank once you feed it. So all the babies get fed nicely. And then soybean husk is another one. So uh, this one
From
here
Garden of
is.
Eden, or
Well, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
is it from the Garden of Eden?
Yeah. So this one here is from the Garden of Eden. It's just 100% soybean husk forced into a pellet, and that's gonna stay in the water for like 4 to 7 days or so while the shrimp slowly graze on it, and it doesn't leach a lot of ammonia into the water, so you can feed it right before you go on vacation, and they do perfectly fine.
And I mostly do like just homemade food, and I had some experience with using yeast, and the shrimp just go crazy on it. I do this mixture from like I collect outside like dandelions, I have oak leaves, I take all kinds of good stuff, and I also add like rosemary for some herbs and some botanicals. I add some zucchini and some apple. I mix it, grind it up with a little bit of water, add a little bit of yeast, and also just to make it a little better, you can actually add wheat to the food because that will just enhance it up and make it into a pellet. In my
Oh, okay.
experience, that was okay.
Okay,
And
yeah,
then I
I've
turned
never
it,
made my own food yet.
and then I turn it into a pellet, and then I just dry it up and then feed it, and it works for all of the animals, like from the babies till the old, very old adults.
Oh,
The
okay.
old, I mean, very mature adults.
Yep. So, my biggest philosophy on feeding shrimp is about 50 to 60% of their diet should just be the natural biofilm that grows in your tank. And I only feed my shrimp about once a week, maybe like once every 10 days or so. And I feed on a rotation. So I've got a complete food from Shrimp Envy over here. And that's got just a bunch of botanicals in there. Hopefully, you guys can see that. I think there's
I can
ingredients
see.
on the back. Yeah, there's ingredients on the back. So it's a bunch of botanicals. It's got mulberry, nettle, dandelion, kale, spinach, spirulina, bee pollen, kelp, and a bunch of others. So the botanicals are gonna feed the shrimp, and they're also gonna help their immune system a little bit. That's why I prefer like an all vegetable based diet or all plant matter based diet.
If you wonder why I am doing this, it's because I have the phone ready with me. I
Gotcha.
don't see the chat at all. It's just
Oh,
blank.
you don't? There
Hmm.
should be a button on your app to go to live chat.
Wait, live chat. Oh, oh, Larry D.
Oh,
He's here. Oh my goodness.
hey, what's up,
He
Larry?
is like literally my like me. We both like we love aquariums and spicy food. I mean, I blow my mind. Like I am a spicy freak.
Yeah, I love
Me.
spicy food too. I just made up some chicken wings a week ago with some honey that I infused with some scorpion peppers. They were
I
really,
mean,
really.
I'm also interested in growing peppers. Like since I have Indian origin, like from Tamil Nadu, we tend to eat a lot of spice and chilies. It's compulsory. Like we have from dried chilies to super fresh, like just from plucked out chilies, like so good. Like I mean, chilies is like basically my life. Like I
Yeah,
can't live without it.
yeah, I love it. So, any more questions before we hop into chat and see if there's any questions?
Oh, okay. This is one of the biggest questions. Do you like Shrimp King, the Shrimp King series, the shrimp food, and Crystal Cow?
So the Shrimp King foods are really good. I do feed them. I've got some right down here.
They're the only
Uh,
food available,
so
basically.
I get the sampler pack of the Shrimp King because they're smaller bags, and I really enjoy the shrimp envy food a little bit more. But I do feed the Shrimp King in the rotation.
I think Shrimp King food is too easy to make at home. Like literally, I have nearly all the ingredients at home. I just make it at home and just save so $25.
Oh, there you go. No problem with saving money when you can.
Oh yeah, yeah. You hear hey, do you just hear my voice or?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I want to answer some of your questions now.
Okay. So I heard you've got some terrestrial isopods. Would you be interested in streaming with me again, and we can do a more in-depth video on that? I'd really like to hear a little bit more on those.
Like I can also answer now, like few because I don't know in the future if I have a lot of time because I have a lot of tests. So like if you can ask me, like you can email me or like simply just ask me now, like just simple questions like what is your favorite isopod? Any tips like that,
Yeah,
you know.
so I've never done terrestrial isopods. If you can kind of just briefly go over the basic setup for a beginner.
Okay, I have to open it. Wait. Oh my goodness, it's so hard. And then I will show you. Like this. You see it, right?
Yep.
Here you can see, right? Twigs aren't so mandatory, but you have to have leaf litter because that's what they mainly feed on. It's like biofilm mainly, but like it has also important bacteria. As you can see, here is one. You can see it here.
Yep.
There's one here, and you have to have
Okay.
bark so that they can hide under because they need it. And also an important, the most important key is soil that is able to hold moisture and has calcium. I use eggshells because that is the best thing that the best calcium source that I use, and I just like eggshells the most. And these are
Okay.
just basically the main key elements to keep isopods. It's not too hard. It's just basically like keeping shrimp because they're easy ones, they're hard ones, they're like, intermediate ones, but it just depends on what you want and what you keep, and prices can also change. They can be from like $0 till like 20 to the $300 for just one isopod.
Oh, okay.
It's never the same thing.
Oh, okay. And what do you feed them, or do they just eat the stuff that's already in the soil?
They they primarily, just like shrimp, they have to eat the biofilm and the little bacteria on the leaves and rotten white wood, along with the eggshells, because they need to grow their shells so that they can become bigger and able to be breeding. And they also need some water But like if you want to feed them extra, make sure your colony has grown a lot so that you can feed them something like sweet potato, bananas, or just like anything soft like lychee. I've even fed them corn and they love that stuff.
Oh,
But
okay.
it really not all isopods are the same. Different isopods like different things. These are Armadillidium vulgaris and they tend to be more just leaf eaters and they just want to eat different botanicals and
Okay.
like different like rosemary and other types of herbs. But in my experience, they just like basil the most.
Oh, okay, good to know. So if anyone hasn't already subscribed to Invertico, I highly suggest that you do. He's got a lot of content on the isopods right on his channel. And if you're interested in isopods or anything like that, he's got a lot of info for you.
And giant African land snails, I have a lot. Not for
All
just
right.
four, but like I just put my life into them. And just where, so don't forget to subscribe to me if you want to also see more shrimp content.
All right. Yeah, I
Don't forget to
definitely look forward
subscribe
to it.
to Tim too. So Crypt Keeper Aquatics. He's awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to go up through chat now, see if we have any questions, see who else popped in.
I'm excited for questions. And also one thing I forgot about the ice pods. Make sure to keep the humidity. It's like the water parameters basically for them. Humidity and temperature.
Okay, is there a certain humidity that you target? Or
So I target a minimum of 70% for most isopods and best to keep it at 85%. Most isopods tend to be quite hardy from 55 to 90 degrees, but like some isopods, especially cubar species, like the rubber ducky isopods, they have to have specific numbers like 90 to 95 degrees. I mean, they can die easily. And also some are drier, just like the Neocardinas and Paracardinas and the Sulawesi shrimp. They're different. They're all the time different.
oh,
So
okay.
any questions?
So I'm just looking through, and it looks like Aqua Garden Zen is here. Welcome. We got Chris's Aqua Zone. Geek Boy made it in. How you doing?
Oh, Bunny Viper Aquatics asked, "What is your favorite isopod?" That's such a hard answer for me to because I love most isopods, but like if I have to say my most favorite, it has to be the Armadillidium vulgare. I mean, they just are just beautiful. Like I mean, no other species can beat them.
Okay, good to know.
Ever
Thank
keep
you.
scorpions? Larry D's Chili Head Aquatics asked me if I ever kept scorpions or spiders. Yes, I didn't have a scorpion, but like spiders, I've had jumping spiders and wolf spiders. And what else I need to try out?
Good morning, Kelly. How you doing?
Oh, only Oscars.
Got Scuba Steve in here. How you doing? Who else? So Brandon asked, any recipes for a lubao ball? I'm not quite sure what that is. Is that something
Well,
you're?
what?
I'll
What
pin
again?
the comment. Where is it? There we go. I pinned the comment to the top of the chat so you can see it. Hopefully, I
Oh,
pronounced that word proper. Good morning, Lefty. How you doing?
okay. Hmm.
Yeah, it's nothing I'm familiar with. Is that anything you know about Invertico?
Not so much. Like I'm kind of confused. Like, did they ask like about the ice pod, my favorite, or like I kind of understand and don't understand. Like, it's just meh.
Okay. Good morning, Rebecca. How you doing? And then we got June here. Good morning. Hey, Linda. Thank you for stopping by. If anyone has any questions, now's the time to get them
Fresh
in.
Etiology has a question. He asked, the isopods are detrivores. Yeah, they are. They basically just clear the substrate. And also, he said he misses keeping giant African land snails, the Lysarhatina fulica, and they're great animals, but the cleanup crew escaped, and now I only keep aquatic snails. I mean, it's like giant African land snails are basically like reptiles. They are the main star of the tank, and they need to be kept properly, or otherwise they're gonna escape. And also, the isopods are very curious creatures, and they're randomly active. Like you haven't seen them ever, and now they're out of the substrate. They're unpredictable.
Gotcha. Good morning, Brian. How you doing? And Scuba Steve says we have wolf spiders here in Florida. Yeah, we've
Mm.
got some wolf spiders up here in New York too. They get relatively big. I've seen them
In
a little
Germany,
bigger than like a quarter.
Even in my house, sometimes they're thick ones. They're like, this big. They're chunky.
Yep. Yeah, they're definitely pretty furry and fat.
They eat a lot, They're like Nicocado avocado.
Yep.
Little chunk boys. And girls.
So Lefty's here. Good morning. Invertico, how are the quail doing?
Oh, so the quail, I haven't gotten the quails yet. I am planning on getting them in the summer because it's kind of cold, and I slowly, like, once I go back and visit my family again in the US, like I'm going also this year, in a vacation, and I don't want to stress out my neighbors to do all the work this year. And I think I'm gonna wait till summer and get them. So I currently don't have the quails, but I have the setup already.
Oh, okay. So for your quails, do you have like a outdoor cage for them, or do you
Yeah,
just let them free roam all around and just feed them that way they know where
outdoor
to go?
cage. It's
Oh,
more
okay.
of a rapid touch that I just modified, and it's in a balcony, and my balcony is relatively large.
Oh, very
So
cool.
that's why I thought keeping quail won't be a problem because, I mean, it is 1.5 square meters long, and per cage that is quite large for like quails. And the thing is that I want to keep my quails like properly. I don't want to like just have them for eggs or just meat.
Oh, okay. And then Brandon replied about the Lubau balls, and he said it's for shrimp grazing. It creates a ton of biofilm and helps cycle a tank. So that's nothing I've tried yet. I haven't even heard of it before, but I'll definitely be looking into it now. Thank you
I
so
always
much.
heard of. Um? Oh, sorry for interrupting.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
Oh, I have only heard of this biofilm ball, which is I think the same thing, and it's from this channel called Shrimp Mania. Go check him out, and he does cool videos. And he made this biofilm glower or grower, and it just makes biofilm like the whole time, 24/7, and it seems like a cool experiment, but I think that will become a problem because you won't see the shrimp anymore so well, and there will be a bacteria bloom. Too
Okay.
much biofilm, I mean.
All right. Good to know. I'm definitely going to check that out later. So, Larry asked you how many quail you are planning on having.
So, since Tommy from Silver Creek Aquatics said you can separate and you can add like 5 quails per like square meter, I thought of just getting 4 quails per section, so 8. And I'm
Oh,
only
okay.
getting females because I don't want to breed any.
Oh, okay. And what are you feeding the quails? are you just like finding worms in the yard to feed them, or are you breeding any live food for them?
So I will definitely like get like mealworms and things to just make them graze, and definitely I made a self mixture from for the quails, and also I will buy quail feed, which is basically like chicken feed, but it has more protein because they need 40% protein, and they need a lot of food per time. So I also have to have a big bucket or a auto feeder if I'm gone.
Yeah, okay. And Jamie, thank you so much for linking Shrimp Mania's video for me. That way I can find it right after the stream. I'll definitely be checking that out.
The Shrimp Mania. I mean, he's good. Also, RW Aquarium Pages. He is such a good person. I mean, he hasn't commented on my videos, but I know that he's watching them, and he supports me. He has helped me a lot of times. You also
Gotcha.
know Mario's Shrimp Tanks, or
Yep. Yep.
he's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of good people here on YouTube, and you can find all of them, or a lot of them anyway, right on fishfam.link. If anyone can post up that link for everyone, and I'll pin that to the top next. But that's got a calendar of live streams for any of the fish type YouTubers. There's a lot of events on there, birthdays, stuff like that. You can see news on there. So it's definitely a super helpful website.
And also, like many people ask me, why am I making invert content instead of shrimp content or fish content? And the thing is that I've already experienced so much with fish that I'm like kind of like, nah, let's not do so much. And you have to, like, compared to invertebrates, you have to pay a lot for fish. Like I paid like nearly 1,000 euros, and that's exactly 1,050, $1,500 home. I mean, that's a lot. Like, if you ask me.
Thank you, Skull, for posting that link up for us. All right. Any more questions before we sign off?
So I have a question.
Yep.
Do you like how you say the would you what botanicals would you not recommend for shrimp? Like
Uh,
pine needles or something.
so anything that has a lot of sap, you really don't want in any aquarium. So anything from like a pine tree or something like that, you want to kind of avoid because it can cause a little bit of issue. But other than that, the botanicals that I use outside of the actual like food pellets here, I use almond leaves and I also use alder cones. The only issue with those is they will break down over time, and if you're using a lot of them, you're gonna have a little bit of mulm in the bottom of the tank, which isn't dangerous. It's just kind of ugly.
But since I have a pond, I don't care. I mean, the pond
Right.
has been running for 1.5 years. I mean, it's very stable. So if I do two, I think with shrimp, they're actually like would you suggest me to lower the thing or just keep it stable?
Stability is always key, but you are going to need a little bit more general hardness in the tank. So that's going to be calcium and magnesium. So if you can get a mineral salt that has just the GH in it, that's going to bring your GH up without touching the KH at all. If you were to use something like limestone, yes, you'll have the extra calcium and magnesium, but you're also going to have a lot of carbonates going into there, and that's going to raise your pH through the roof.
I
So that's
think
why I
now
recommend
because
actual mineral salt for it.
so the last time I tested was 2 weeks ago. So I think now because I also added some tap water into the setup, it would definitely have higher the GH to like 6. So I
Yeah,
can
okay.
just lower all of it down. So it's
Yeah,
better
so
to keep all of the things high than keeping them too low and then lowering it down. Like keep
yeah,
it stable like all.
yeah. The only thing with the carbonates though is that's always going to keep your pH a little bit higher. The carbonates are what buffers the pH up. If you had active soil in there that is going to help to bring the pH down a little bit, it'll also neutralize some of the carbonates in there.
And I think with shrimp is that they have to be like they're very hard. They have to have a stable parameters instead of just targeting the exact right parameter. Like if you're getting like red galaxies, like red galaxy boas, right?
Yep.
They need like a pH of 5.5 and a KH of 0 and a GH of 4. I think it is 4 or 5, like one of those two. And you don't need to go like directly if your pH is 6.5 and it stays the whole time in 6.5, and like the KH is 1 and the GH is always 3, then it's better to keep it just stable like that instead of just like always buffering it and hiring it up. Like,
Yeah, so my opinion on that is if your parameters are outside the preference, you're going to have slower breeding and you could possibly have some molting issues where they fail to molt or they molt too early, molt too late, stuff like that. So that's why I prefer to keep the parameters really, really tight within their preference. So with
so I
all
mean like with the
carabina, I'm keeping it at anywhere between 5 and 7 GH. In the KH, I always have dead zero. And by using the Brightwell substrate, my pH is always less than 6. My test kit only goes down to 6, so I can't test exactly where it's at. But if I had to guess, it's going to be around like 5 to 5.5.
I think now because I have no shrimp, I can lower it down and then keep it. But like if I have shrimp, it's better to stay as it is.
Right. Once the shrimp are in there, you don't want to have a lot of fluctuations. But
Mess.
before you get the shrimp, while you're still playing around, trying to get the parameters proper, that's perfectly fine if they do swing a little bit. But definitely find stability in the parameters before even thinking about adding any shrimp. All right. Any
I
last
think
minute questions?
so me, I have I think like one last question or something
Yep.
is would you ever get any invert like a giant African land snail or millipedes? And before this live stream is gonna end, is it okay if I show the millipedes?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
So I do want to get some terrestrial isopods at some point. I haven't decided which variety yet. I'm still in the research phase of it. I've never done it before, so.
And my tip is to get your go and go to your local forest and check out your local species because that will help you more because you know how their habitat looks like.
Oh, okay.
This is also called known as the globular millipede because you can see right, it's not like a circle, it's more like a globe.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I'm currently letting this like conglomerate, which oh, that one is already ready. Hi, hi, pretty. I treat them as my children, my pets.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely shows in your care and dedication through your videos.
Like I also like with the shrimp, I've been researching for like the past 4 months, and I think I still didn't finish because I have to learn more.
Yep. All right. Let's see what the comments say. We got Stephen P in here this morning. Hello, how you doing? Or this afternoon, rather. I keep saying morning. It's afternoon. What's wrong with me? Then
It,
Garden of Eater
it's
says that he
evening
can
for
send
me.
me some. I think he's referring to the terrestrial isopods, so that's pretty awesome. Good morning, Keeper Kane. How you doing? Keeper Kane has a lot of snakes and reptiles on his channel, and he streams each Sunday night, I believe, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. But definitely check that out if you guys have some free time later. He's awesome. So that's one of the millipedes there?
What species?
Is that a millipede or?
A millipede. Yeah.
Oh, okay, very cool.
It's the species is Spirostepa species 1.
Oh, okay.
It's from Tanzania. I mean, I'm actually also still interested into shrimps because like no matter what, you once you get inside the hobby, you'll never leave.
Right. It's definitely a little bit of an addicting hobby, and
Same with
once you
inverts.
get one, you're gonna want a lot more.
But the thing with me is, unlike getting more, I want to make more. Like, see, like I'm more of a person to breed instead of just keep it. And there's a difference between surviving and thriving. You know, right? And I
Absolutely.
want the animals to thrive and breed so that it makes me happy and know that I have some sort of knowledge and it makes me look and feel professional and like experienced, unlike just keeping the animal and going away. That's why I don't like amano shrimp and the bamboo shrimp, Atia gabonensis. They are filter feeding shrimp, and apart from the amano shrimp, they need brackish water in order to breed. They're not like other animals. Like you got fresh water, you need fresh water. Also, there's something called a Pinocchio shrimp. You know, right?
Yep.
Those need brackish water, and that's why I don't like them. I mean,
Gotcha.
they look cool, but like
Yeah,
they're
I've
empty.
never done any brackish water shrimp or fish or anything like that. Never got into salt water yet.
Same. I've been keeping actually fish for like 5.5 years, and now I stopped. But like, still, like, it was a big journey for me.
Yep. So we got TJ here now. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Just about wrapping it up now. We're almost to the 1 hour mark already. Time flew today. So, any last comments before we end it in Vertigo?
Don't forget to subscribe to Crypt Keeper, in Vertical and in my um your channel recommendations. Subscribe to all those channels because they're awesome. And don't forget to see my recent video because it's gonna be nice. And stay tuned for shrimp videos from my channel.
All
And
right.
stay healthy, stay safe, and enjoy your life. Be positive.
All right. Definitely look forward to those shrimp videos. Thank you so much for stopping up here today. It was very nice to meet you finally. And we'll see everyone else next time. Later.
Okay, bye.